Quiet on the set.
Camera speed.
Sound production.
Roll sound.
Rolling.
Sound production. Take 2.
Welcome to the I Remember Liking That Movie podcast. Remember those childhood movies you loved? Now, we're going to watch them again and find out if they're still as amazing as you remember. Or, your father was right. You were an idiot, and everything you watched was stupid. So buckle up, movie aficionados. Over-the-top gore? Check. Over-embellished action? Check. Gratuitous nudity? Double check. Storylines so absurd you could drive a semi-truck through those plot holes. Oh yeah, some of those movies didn't even know what a movie plot was. And that's the way we liked it. Now, here's your hosts, Anna Santos and Jimmy Coates.
Dun, dun, dun. How's it going?
It's going okay. How you doing?
Not bad. Yeah, I couldn't find it either.
I've got such beef with Paramount Plus. Like, no joke. I was
Shitty.
like, it was there on the weekend.
Was
and I
it?
was like, yeah, because I searched it. I literally searched it when we were talking about it. And I was like, oh, okay. So like when I went to go, so I searched it, watched the trailer, whole 9. And I was like, okay, cool. And then I went to watch it this afternoon and I was like, where the fuck did it go?
Fucking Paramount Plus.
Fucking Paramount Plus. And then I tried to use my VPN to watch it. Those fuckers.
No good?
Really? No, because my current Paramount Plus subscription is through Prime Video.
Oh.
So
Yeah.
I was like, okay, so I tried going through Prime UK and they were like, oh, sign in with a partner. And I have an Apple TV one, and that was the partner that you could sign in through Paramount Plus. It was like a whole thing. But they were like, no, if you want Paramount Plus, you have to have a UK payment method. And I was like, I don't have a UK credit card. Thank you. So we had to say no. But yeah, no, it really pissed me off because I was like, I was kind of looking forward to that. I was like, God damn it.
Yeah.
Anyways, I got beef.
All right. Well, we could do Orion.
Yes.
And let's do that now. For those listening, we're just going to do a quick review of a movie that just got released a few days ago on Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
Orion in the Dark. Okay, so this Orion in the Dark is directed by Sean Charmatz. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. I'm sorry. He's known for some smaller project. He did a couple 20-minute like Trolls and a couple things like that. But his art department resume is super impressive. Whatever that might be, you might be able to shed some light on that.
His art department. Well, I mean, being in the art department, do we know what role he?
No,
he
it's just in IMDb. It just says art department.
Well, the art department usually, you're looking at painters, shaders, texture. So they're the ones that make things look real.
Okay.
Especially if it's 3D animation.
Well,
Like,
he's
you know
done,
how
Yeah,
you
go
see
ahead.
like a dog that looks like really fluffy and it looks like you want to pet it?
Yeah.
That's the art department.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I guess he was pretty high up there because it led to doing this movie. So he's worked on Penguins of Madagascar, the SpongeBob Show, the SpongeBob movies, Trolls movies, How to Train Your Dragon, Lego Movie 2, Angry Birds movie 1 and 2. So he's worked on a lot of animation.
Oh, I take this all back because
Oh,
I'm looking at his credits now. He was a storyboard artist and a storyboard revisionist.
Oh, okay.
So he's literally the one that takes the script and turns it into pictures for the beginning of animation.
Oh,
Then
okay.
apparently, he was a character designer, which is fantastic, and also an animatic director, which means he took the storyboards and turned them into basically moving pictures. So that all happens before animation starts.
Right.
So that's my lesson on animation today. Finally, my day job comes in handy.
Okay. Now, so this is based on a book by Emma Yarlett. And from what I read, the book is not as complex as the movie,
Mm.
which is actually written by Charlie Kaufman. That
Oh,
name
really?
might sound familiar to a lot of people. Charlie Kaufman is one of those smart writers known for writing the screenplay of Confessions of a Dangerous Mind, Adaptation, being John Malkovich, Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. Uh, some great movies, some well written movies, but it leans more towards smart comedy.
Yeah. I was about to we'll talk about it.
Yeah. Okay. Charlie Kaufman. So how does a man who writes tongue-in-cheek highbrow comedy fare with writing kids movies? And overall, quickly, not bad. Orion in the Dark starts out as a story about a kid, you guessed it, named Orion, and he
Mhm.
is, you guessed it, afraid of the dark. Like really afraid of the dark, which a lot of kids can relate to. I have a couple. It sucks. Especially when you forget to turn off the light that you left on for them. You fall asleep, you wake up, the bathroom light is coming right through that door, just shining right on your eyeballs. And you try to ignore it, but you can't. But you go to the blanket wall, but someone else moves and the wall comes down and it's shining right in your face. And finally, you get up to turn it off, lay back down, and you're like, oh, fuck, great. Now I'm wide awake. Um, you know what we're talking about? Right, Orion. So Dark so Dark shows up to convince Orion to spend 24 hours with him, and in the end, he just might not be afraid of the dark anymore.
Mhm.
And this is great. The animation is good. It's reminiscent of Illumination, Pixar movies. I know some of the reviewers that didn't like it didn't like the animation. I thought it was fine. Dark is co-starred with some cute characters like Sleep, who looks like
Mm.
Kelly from Sesame Street.
Yes.
She also has some cool, and by that I mean horrifically cute ways of putting people to sleep. Insomnia, he's pretty funny.
Yeah.
Unexplained Noises is pretty cool. Quiet is cute little mouse thing, and Sweet Dreams, which is kind of cool. And where this movie could just reach its end game by sticking to a strictly by the numbers kids movie, it is written by that smart writer Charlie Kaufman, and it changes
Mhm.
into something completely different. I have seen some critics have already complained about this, but these are the same critics that would have complained if it just stuck to a paint by numbers kids movie. So it ends up being something completely different, and then it ends up being something completely different again,
Mhm.
while being the same thing, just spanning decades apart. Sound confusing? It really isn't. It's actually kind of sweet, and it brings something different to the table that I was not expecting. Most of my kids followed. Like one had to have explained. If you knew her, you wouldn't be surprised. My youngest could give a shit. She just liked the visuals and the little joke.
Yeah.
You might recognize some voices. Colin Hanks as the older Orion, Seth Rogen as Dark, except it isn't Seth Rogen. I thought it was.
Right?
It's Paul Walter Hauser.
I kept thinking it was Seth Rogen through the entire and I had to keep
Through
reminding
the
myself, it's
entire
not
movie, yeah.
him.
And this is not a slight to Paul Hauser. He
No.
just sounded a lot like Seth Rogen.
They
Um,
have very similar voices.
yes, they
Very,
do.
very similar.
And regardless, Paul Walter Hauser is great as Dark. And much like he
Mhm.
gives to his live action roles, he's able to give Dark a lot of depth here for a cartoon. Like you feel sorry for him at times. You laugh at his jokes. You giggle at his jealousy of a delightful, I'm not going to pronounce it, Ike Barinholtz
Yep, you got it.
as Light, who you might remember from Mad TV. He's the funny sidekick from like the Neighbors movies, Blockers, the Mindy Project he was in. He's
Mhm.
really funny. Um, and then of course the other family members of Orion's, which I don't want to give away here. It's not the best animated movie out there, but it is a nice, fun movie to watch with your kids. Netflix is on a roll with animation with like hits like Klaus, Sea
Mhm.
Beast, and Leo. Leo was really funny. But Orion in the Dark might not be the best, but it stands easily along with other animated movies as not only watchable, but probably rewatchable. It will lose that first time watch just because the story is so different,
Yeah.
but kids won't care. And for a weekend on the horizon where you haven't seen Orion in the Dark and you have kids, this is a no-brainer. Stream it. It's fun. It's not going to be at the top of your repeat viewing, but I
Mm.
could see watching this again down the road. But for a first-time view, I thought it was good.
Yeah, no, initially, I thought it was a little too highbrow for kids, and then I remembered what kids are like now,
Yeah.
And that took me because I was like, this first of all, my first thought was Orion needs some hardcore therapy, maybe some Xanax. Like the kid is high strung. But then as I'm watching it, and I was like, this like it had very intellectual conversation. It was a very well built story. There was a Bambi's mom moment that I'm
Mhm.
not gonna lie, made me cry a little bit, but that's okay. That's okay. I ended up crying actually towards the end, and I was like, "Why am I tearing up?" I didn't even realize this movie hit so many spots. But I realize now because kids now have access to so much more information than we did when we were kids.
Mhm.
They're getting more stuff to worry about. So they do have more anxiety, more concerns, more questions. And I thought the character of Orion in this movie had a really great kind of representation for that kind of like, I'm overwhelmed by the world. And it was a nice, like it started kinda, like, serious, got a little, like, therapy-like, and then it went goofy, but still therapy-like, and I was like,
Yeah.
"Oh, this is surprisingly very touching, and
Yeah.
it's super interesting," and it gives a lot of, like, points for kids and parents to talk about, and, all of that kinda stuff, so I was like, "Oh, this" I initially started out being like, I don't know if this is any good." But then by the end, I was like, "Oh, this is really good." And I'd like to point out that the animation is beautiful.
Yeah, it's
And
really good.
whoever had working on shading did an incredible job. Because honestly, Quiet, fucking adorable, and I
Yeah, I
want a
like Quiet.
plushie.
Quiet was cute.
If you listened really, really closely, you could hear what she was saying, like the actual words,
Yeah.
but you really had to listen, and I was like, "That's fucking genius."
And
Who's
I think that's with the director who worked on so many things before this, had
Yes.
that, yeah.
It was you could tell people who were directing this and who worked on this had a lot of experience in animation. It was really, really good, high quality stuff. I really liked it, like, just from a technical standpoint, and then the story, it sucks you in,
Yeah.
and you're like, I didn't like, when I started crying towards the end, I was like, "What the fuck? This movie snuck up on me." But I liked it, and I think it's actually if you have younger kids who are kinda trying to deal with shit and they're, like, a little more high strung, a little more anxious, this is actually a really, really great movie to kinda kick off conversations about that and, but still fun enough that the kids are gonna be like, "Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Let's
And
have an
there are a
adventure."
couple twists, and the twists
Yeah.
at first kinda were jarring to me, but that they explain it as the movie
Mhm.
goes along, and it's quite neat how they did it. It's I really enjoyed it. Again, it's that first view. It might not be as great the second time, but yeah, definitely,
Yeah.
like, if
I don't think
just
this is a rewatch, like a, "Let's put this in the rotation."
yeah. No, down the road, maybe, after you haven't
Yeah.
seen it for a while, yeah. But
Yeah.
for your first time watch, it's great. It's
Oh, yeah,
great.
no, it kept me entertained.
Yeah.
I my only issue with it when it first started, I was like, "This seems a little too smart for kids. Is this really a kids movie?"
Yeah.
But then it all made sense.
And then it all made sense because it
And
explained everything.
I was like, "Okay, we've got this." So, I mean,
Yeah.
I enjoyed it, and I think people should stream it. I mean, if
Yeah.
you've got anxious kids, this is a great one to kind of, kick off conversations or at least let them know, "You're not alone. Look at Orion. He's got issues." Um, but yeah, no, I liked it. It was kind of funny. They had some interesting characters in there, and one of my
Yeah.
favorite things is watching sleep put people to sleep.
Yeah, that was the best.
That was so awesome.
Yeah, I don't wanna give anything away, but yeah, sleep
No.
is funny.
Please, everybody, watch Sleep Put People to Sleep in
Yeah,
this.
it's awesome. Yeah. No, it turned out it's a very and at the end, it's a very sweet
It is.
sweet family movie. Yeah. No, it was good, I liked it. I'm
Yeah.
glad I watched it.
And me too, because normally I have so much animation with my day job. Like I'm constantly watching shows, clips, animatics, all of that stuff. I'm listening to voice actors. Like every other week we would have a record. So I would listen as they were recording the voices, and then we'd have to, and you'd be amazed to get a good performance. And all of the vocal performances in this movie were actually really, really good. To get a good vocal performance, even if you have the most incredible actor, because they're animating the face, you're not getting as much expression to convey the emotions. So it really does come just from the voice. So some of these lines, I was like, man, they must have done like 6 takes on that one, because just the smallest inflection. And whoever the voice director was, good on you, my friend. Good on you. You did well. You did very well.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Yeah.
stream Orion in the Dark. It's on Netflix. It's really good.
Yeah. Surprisingly good.
All right. And I was gonna get some other stuff because it's our heading to Valentine's, but I'm like, we have 2 movies to do. So I'm like,
Yeah, we do.
yeah. So I was gonna bunch them together, like do the two, but I think we should do one just because it's
Yeah.
easier on my end.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We can do whatever you want, my
All right.
friend.
All right. So welcome to the I Remember Liking That Movie podcast. This is our Valentine's episode, the first Valentine's episode, one of 2, and it is My Bloody Valentine from 1981. I was just about to ask you what you remember about it.
Well, here's what I remember. I remember learning to walk just before it came out.
Yeah.
It was a great year.
Yeah. All right, so we are going to watch the preview of us trying to remember what we actually do remember about the movie, and then when we come back, we are going to review it. My Bloody Valentine.
My Bloody Valentine.
All right. Welcome to the I Remember Like That Movie podcast. Today we are in the 80s. We are watching a slasher because it's going to be Valentine's Day. Does this release right on Valentine's Day? I didn't check that out. But we are doing 2, and the first one is an old one. I don't know who. There's no one memorable from this at all.
From the first?
Yeah.
Yeah, Cynthia Dale's in it.
That sounds familiar. Hold on.
She's one of the Dale sisters. Jennifer Dale is the other one. Love them both.
Do you see her boobies? Oh, yeah, I know her. She's in that Street Legal show. Isn't she?
Yeah, she did Street Legal, but she also did one of my favorite movies of all time. That is also one of the cheesiest movies. No. Heavenly Bodies. It's she plays an aerobics instructor who goes up against another aerobics instructor in order to save her gym. In an aerobics off. There's an aerobics marathon, but she's injured because someone like I Tanya'd her, and it was like a whole thing. Like, this movie is incredibly cheesy but fantastic.
Yeah, I don't.
I'm telling you, man,
movie.
One of the best movies to have ever been made because it's so just 1980s cheese, and it's amazing. But anyways, yes, she's in this movie.
Okay. Yes, it has that chick in it, and it also has some other people in it. It's directed by someone, George Mahalka. Yeah, Mahalka. Yeah. What do you remember about My Bloody Valentine?
Honestly, the 1981 one, very little.
Yeah.
Not even gonna joke. I remember watching it, but this was also late night, probably early 90s when I saw it on late nights movies. So I barely remember it, but I remember liking it enough to make me want to watch the remake in theaters on Valentine's Day.
Yeah, this would have been just another slasher horror movie in a long line of. Yeah. It looks like a horror movie, so I'm going to watch it. And I remember a little bit, but nothing really other than the costume.
Yeah. Like, I remember the costume. I remember scenes in the mines, but I don't remember a lot about like the characters or how they all like interact with each other. But I do remember a lot of the mine scenes and like some of the kills. So I mean, like, I have a vague memory of that, but ask me to recite the plot and not gonna happen. You're still mute.
All right. Let's take a look at the box office for My Bloody Valentine. Came out February 11th, 1981. Good for you. Fucking taking advantage. So many movies that don't do that.
I
Had a
know.
budget of 2.3 million and it grossed just over 5.6. So, not a runaway hit, but something
Mm.
tells me someone got some money.
Oh, yeah. But
Probably
I'm
not
sure
the
this
people
did
that were
well
supposed to.
in, like, indie theaters, you
Yeah.
know, where they replay, like, classics or just older horror movies all the time.
Yeah, and especially when it came to rentals and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, 100%.
Well, let's go to the tail of the tape. My Bloody Valentine, 1981, is a holiday horror. Rated R and comes in at 1 hour and 31 minutes. Now, I found there is the theatrical version and an uncut version that differs wildly.
Really?
Yeah, especially when it comes to the gore, which made sense back then.
Yeah. They would have been very, very heavily edited in theaters for 1981.
Yes. So, My Bloody Valentine taglines. Okay, there is a few.
Oh, jeez. All right, let's go.
Harry's out to steal your heart.
I mean, that's not bad. But none of us know who Harry is.
No. Cross your heart and hope to die.
That's a pretty good one.
Yeah, kind of stole it. Heartburn.
It's terrible. Funny, but terrible.
This Valentine's Day, romance is dead.
Perfect. I love it.
Yeah, that's a
That's
good
a
one.
great one.
Sarah, be my bloody Valentine.
Mm-mm.
Again, we don't know who Sarah is.
We don't know who Sarah is. We don't care about her.
It's such a Cole, Coal movie. You'll want to see it over and over again.
That's stupid.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
That's absolutely terrible.
Something my kids would say, or me.
Sorry.
Roses are red, violets are blue. One is dead, the next is you.
Perfect. That's a great one.
There's more than one way to lose your heart.
Okay, actually, that's pretty good. That one's pretty good.
Valentine's Day will never be the same again.
No.
Okay, that was it. That was a few. There are actually a couple of good ones, 2 or 3.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
counted 2 exceptional ones and one that was very, very good. So, I mean, that already is blowing other ones out of the park. So, whoever was thinking those up, it's perfect.
Yeah.
Give them a raise. Or really just shoot them an extra, like, what, $5?
Yes. Yeah. It's probably what they got paid.
It's been like 42, 43 years.
My
Very
Bloody Valentine synopsis. A decades-old folktale surrounding a deranged murderer killing those who celebrate Valentine's Day turns out to be true to legend when a group defies a killer's order and people start turning up dead.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I like that. That's a good synopsis.
Yeah. And here is the poster. I don't like this.
No.
For
It's
those
weird.
for those listening, it's okay, let me just blow this up here. At the very top, there's more than one way to lose your heart. There is a guy in a coal miner's mask. There's some red stuff. I'm guessing that's blood in the
Eh?
front of it. And then there's a big light of some kids, and there's hearts above, like he's thinking about it. It just says My Bloody Valentine, then all the information, Paramount, rated R. Yeah, no, this poster sucks.
Well, it's weird because the red stuff that's running, does it also have flowers in it?
Yeah,
It's very,
it's
yeah. And then there's something around his eyes and the goggles, but everything is so dark except for that light sphere,
yeah.
thought sphere.
Hey,
Okay,
My
but
Bloody Valentine.
Yeah.
Your poster blows.
yeah, this
Now,
one's not a good one.
there are 2 other ones that came out later for DVD and stuff like that.
Mm.
Much better.
Oh, 100%.
Even the My Bloody Valentine with the bloody handprint, but the
Mhm.
one over there is for a special edition Blu-ray or DVD, I'm not sure, is great. Cross your heart and hope to die. Yeah, no, these 2 are much better.
Yeah.
Yeah, the first one just
You get full regular minor, great lighting.
Yeah.
hints to Valentine's Day with hearts. No random glowy thought bubble.
No. All right. Reviews. Rotten Tomatoes. Out of 26 critic reviews, 58%. That's actually not bad for actual critic reviews.
Yeah.
5,000 plus audience reviews, 52%.
Not bad. Not bad.
Yeah. Never work for horror movies. Can you really trust a?
Yeah.
All right, we'll start with the fresh reviews, and you may go first.
Even if it was aiming to cash in on the Valentine's Day setting, the connection to the holiday only heightens the absurd and entertaining horrors contained within its runtime. Patrick Kavanagh, The Wolfman Cometh, original score 4 out of 5.
Sick, twisted, and guaranteed to leave you numb or nauseous, or both. Bill Gibron, filmcritic.com, original score 3 out of 5.
Nice. Far from the best horror film and far from the best slasher, there is something classically endearing about My Bloody Valentine. Stephanie Archer, Film Inquiry.
Here are some Rotten Tomato audience. Fans of 80s gore, you know who you are, should check out the unrated cut. JH, 3 stars.
Nice. This slasher does not get enough love. The MPAA cut 9 minutes of footage, which means it had some great kills. The gore was really good for a movie in 81. That's crazy. Poo Flower, 5 stars.
Yeah, Poo Flower.
Yeah, Poo Flower.
A decent 80s slasher that utilizes a nice mystique with the ghost tale-like format that carries the story. I also love the location. Really added to the claustrophobic feel. But the film's pace has some serious lulls. But when it is good, expect some good carnage candy. Unknown, 3 stars.
Carnage Candy, I like that.
Rotten.
I'm ready. My Bloody Valentine probably won't make you shiver with fright, but it's almost certain to make you squirm, first with irritation and then with revulsion. Tom Buckley, New York Times.
I like how they do that, and they expect that. That's almost a positive review for people.
Yes,
Like,
if you're a horror movie fan, you're like,
yeah.
wait, revulsion? Fantastic.
That's awesome. It's different than Halloween. This one is Valentine's Day. Scott Weinberg, efilmcritic.com, original score 4 out of 10.
Oh, Scott. At least the film gets right into the killing, starting with the unlikely victim of an old lady. Mike Massey, Gone with the Twins, original score 3 out of 10.
Yeah.
Damn, Mike.
Spoiler alert, Mike. Here are some audience ones. My Bloody Valentine doesn't offer the same quality of storytelling and visuals as other slasher films released around this time. The movie is uninteresting with a predictable killer. The acting is terrible, and the effects are bad, even for the 80s. The remake, which is also a flop, is better. Farrah R, 1 star.
Damn, Farrah.
Oh.
Ugh, that was awful. Unknown, half star.
I guess it's better than Friday the 13th sequels. Sort of funny at points. The actors elevate a terrible movie that throws sense out the window and just goes for whatever it feels like doing. The execution of the terrible script is just as poor. Every murder feels inevitably no tension whatsoever. There are laughable moments, but for the most part, it's as skippable as these things come. Unknown, 1 star.
It's kind of harsh.
That was a mouthful. Jesus.
Yeah.
IMDb, 25,000 user ratings, and it's got a 6.2. That's pretty good for a horror movie.
That's really impressive.
Yeah, when you get out of that 5 area.
Yeah. If you head into the 6s, I
Yeah,
mean, you're doing pretty well.
All right, you may start.
Okie dokies. A true classic 80s horror. Only if you have unrated version. 10 out of 10, Brant Sponsseller.
And this popped up everywhere, this unrated version.
Yeah.
One of the better 1980s slashers. 9 out of 10, M. Jansen's 26.
This pointless holiday deserves a good slasher film. 8 out of 10, Thomas B. Bloodhound.
A cult classic that has aged into a guilty pleasure. 7 out of 10, River Tam 26.
Over the top, dumb fun, awful and entertaining. Bloody is the word for the 80s anyways. 6 out of 10, Bowman Blue.
Not bad, but not great. 5 out of 10, Mike JPEG. or JPG.
My Bloody Awful Valentine, 4 out of 10, Coalbridge.
More slasher crap from the 80s. 3 out of 10, The Void.
So mean. Ridiculous. And I'm a fan of slashers. 2 out of 10. Aomal, 27.
I would rather get hit by a car than watch this again. 1 out of 10. Bottle Gnome, 255.
Calm down, Bottle Gnome. Calm down.
All right. So, box office, tail of the tape, and we got some reviews. Let's watch the trailer for My Bloody Valentine 1981.
I'm ready.
And can you hear that?
A little bit, yeah. There we go.
It's a bad time, this time of year. How many times is he gonna tell this story?
Oh, let him tell it. I love fairy tales.
This ain't no fairy tale, little girl. If you don't take it seriously, you're a fool.
The first Valentine's dance in 20 years has to be something special.
Look, Landers, you gotta get a lot of exercise if you're gonna grapple with Gretchen. Oh, yeah? Well, I got a Valentine for her that she's never gonna forget. Right to the heart, huh? In this town on Valentine's Day, everybody loses their heart.
Roses are red, violets are blue. One is dead, and so are you.
It can't be happening again. It can't be happening again.
What's going on over in Valentine Bluffs? It looks like Harry Warden's back in town.
It happened once. It happened twice. Cancel the dancer, it'll happen twice. In the town of Valentine Bluffs, there are many ways to die. Take your pick. My Bloody Valentine.
That was terrible.
Yeah. But it's a terrible in a good way.
I'm kind of into it, not gonna lie.
So what's your predictions for My Bloody Valentine?
I think I'm gonna like it just for the cheese. And that trailer, even though the trailer was terrible,
Yeah.
had so much 80s cheese in it. And I have a feel I'm gonna try and find the unrated version to watch. So yeah, I think we should aim for that because I think we're gonna get full like creator's vision.
Yeah, I would like to get the
Yeah.
director's one. Now, I'm not paying $40 or $50 for it, but if I can
no.
find it,
No, sir, no.
if I can find a cheap DVD or if they rent it, yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, apparently you can rent it on like everything.
Yeah,
We'll see how this goes.
but the theatrical version or the unrated
Yeah,
version.
true.
All right. Well, yeah, I think it looks very early 80s. It looks very familiar, but like I'm hoping it's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want a lot to be able to like laugh at it. You know what I mean? Like give me some entertainment for it. Give me
Yeah.
some creative kills. Give me a decent slasher. I'll be
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, because I don't. It didn't strike me as Halloween. It didn't
Yeah.
strike me as Black Christmas.
No.
So if you're gonna be cheesy, yes, as long as you're fun, yeah, it'll be cool. So we are gonna go watch the 1981 version, and when we come back, we are gonna review it.
Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby Lobby to get ourselves a treat. Delicious things to eat. The popcorn can't be beat. The sparkling drinks are just dandy. The chocolate bars and the candy. So let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
And now, on with the show.
Yay! Get up. What am I doing?
Woohoo!
Welcome back to the episode. Get off there. All right. Ooh, wasn't that scary stuff, kids? My Bloody Valentine 1981. Did you watch the 81 version of My Bloody Valentine?
Yes, I did. Although I don't think I watched the unrated one.
No,
I
neither.
yeah, I was like, I don't have the patience to really search for this. But
Yeah,
that's
no,
okay.
I looked for it for a bit. I think the only way you're going to see it is either
DVD or
download it off of a torrent site or something, or buy the actual unrated video. It wouldn't have been. I wouldn't be able to get it here fast enough.
yeah,
anywhere. No. So, what are your initial thoughts of 1981's My Bloody Valentine?
I liked it a lot more than I thought I would, which was surprising. It was a lot better than I thought it would be, which surprised me and delighted me as well. What were your thoughts?
This is not the greatest shot, not the greatest acted, not the greatest edited movie, but there is some fun in this movie.
Mhm.
Like, and there are some creepy tones and genuine tension.
Yeah.
Ascots, handlebar mustaches, and all.
The fantastic shoes.
Oh,
This movie.
yeah. All right. Well, let's go through this movie. All right. So, inside a mine shaft, a female miner takes off her gear in front of another miner. When the woman performs a striptease, the miner pushes her onto a mining pickaxe, killing her. I call bullshit here. Could have at least waited a minute.
Well, no, hold on. There's a little something in there because she's stripping, right? And then she goes to take off his mask, and then he like shakes his head, and you hear him say no. And she's like, all right. And I was like, that's an interesting kink. Fine. Then she fondles his oxygen hose very, very intimately. And I was like, this is weird. This is super weird. Then he kind of fondles her a little bit, on the breast. He's like, oh, look, you have a little heart tattoo. That's nice. Pa!
Yeah.
And then threw the pickaxe. And I was like, oh, I did not remember any of that.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Let's keep going.
I just thought he was just an inconsiderate slasher villain. Mayor Hanniger of Valentine Bluffs, a Canadian mining town, reinstates the traditional Valentine's Day dance, which has been suspended for 20 years.
Mhm.
This town is decorating the shit out of itself.
They're really going for it.
Yeah.
Home handicrafts decorations too, which is what makes me super happy.
Oh yeah, and they don't have a dollar store in this town.
No, they do not.
This
There is
all
no
handmade
Dollarama.
decorations. It did remind me of my childhood, like the making of the decorations
Oh, you actually decorated for that shit?
at school.
Oh, I
You
don't
didn't
think we
like
did.
cut out hearts and stuff at school?
No, not really. We would make like Valentines for our parents when we were really young.
Oh,
And then like there was the giving out of Valentines to your classmates.
yeah.
I don't think I ever
No
did
Valentine's
though.
Day dances?
I don't think so. I don't remember. You also got to remember, I went to a Catholic
Oh yeah, you went
school.
to a Catholic school.
So Saint Valentine, we had a different relationship with
Yeah,
him.
different view on the whole holiday.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
like, no, he was killed. That's what we learned. They executed him.
Yeah.
That's our story. Not let's go make kissy face.
Yeah, I don't recall the adults in my town decorating this substantially, and definitely not on Valentine's.
Well, I also grew up in downtown Toronto, so
Yeah.
it's a
And I'm
different
like,
vibe.
where are all the teens? Like, this decorating is for adults. That was a little weird.
It honestly, I've never seen early 20 somethings so excited, but also Mabel of Madame Mabel's Laundrette. I love her. She played Mrs. Lind on Road to Avonlea. I just thought because I kept looking at her face and I was like, I know you, so I looked her up. Um, but they are so enthusiastic. Like the entire town
Yeah.
is fucking thrilled about this thing at the Union Hall, and I'm like, it's a dance. You guys are
That's the
throwing a
dance.
dance.
Calm down, people.
Yeah. Although, I wanna say a special kudos to Moosehead. I think they sponsored this entire
Yeah, I think they sponsored them too because there was a lot of Moosehead beer.
there was a lot of Moosehead cans, bottles.
Yeah.
Wouldn't be surprised if there was draft too. I didn't notice that, but
I
I'm
never
like,
even heard of Moosehead.
"Really?"
I'm sure I did, but I mean nothing like came to mind.
Oh, Moosehead was our reasonably priced, like, Canadian brew that we would because when you move past Molson,
Yeah.
where you were like, "I have a more refined taste, a more refined palate," you went on to Moosehead because you still broke. So that's what we did. And then eventually you got into, like, the international beers because you were like, "I'm fancy now."
Yeah. Also, can we acknowledge the amazingly ludicrous let's go grab a beer after work race to the bar?
Oh my god.
Those cars, these men absolutely owned and drove, actually looked like they belonged in a Mad Max movie.
Yes.
It was insane.
First, they take a group shower.
Yeah,
Then
group
they're all like,
shower.
"Let's run."
Yeah.
Just tossing soaps everywhere. I'm just saying. It was a party.
We also get the legend, the whole legend story from a former miner, now a bartender or
Mhm.
owner of a bar. The dances stopped 20 years ago after an accident in which 2 supervisors left 5 miners in the mines to attend the dance. Because they forgot to check methane gas levels in the mining tunnels, there was an explosion that caused the mining tunnel to cave in and trap the miners. I was calling bullshit again because when the bartender telling the story is like, we dug for 6 weeks to get those boys out. I'm like, this is stupid. Who the fuck is going to survive for 6 weeks, you idiots?
Well, at
And
one point,
then,
you're just digging for the bodies.
yeah,
That's what they're thinking. They're thinking they're just go find a bunch of bodies, and they kinda did.
yeah. Harry Warden, the only survivor, resorted to cannibalism to survive and went insane from the ordeal. Well done, my Bloody Valentine 1981. I forgot that part. The bartender who was working the mines then, he said he was the first one through, finds a fucked up Harry, and what a great scene. Harry looked like the ordeal of resorting to cannibalism had an effect on him.
Yeah, it was fucking fantastic. Because you also have to consider this. Because when you see that scene in the retelling, he's literally like, he's got an arm with bite marks on it in his hands.
Yeah.
So he's, like, gnawing down on an arm
Yeah.
while waiting to be rescued. That arm has been in that hot
Oh, yeah.
closed off mine for 6 weeks. What do you think? That meat
Yeah.
has gone bad. That I'm like, that's not to mention it's one of his coworkers and friends, which is extra weird.
Yeah.
But I mean, also he's been down there for 6 weeks. So when they showed how crazy he was, I was like, well done. Well done.
Yeah, it was creepy.
Yeah.
Yeah. If I was the first one through, let's be clear. I wouldn't be at the front of that
I was gonna say.
rescue effort. But if I was, the ear-piercing screams that would be coming through that miner suit. Once I saw Harry the cannibal, everyone would be behind me would have thought I found a delirious woman. Just
How did a
screaming.
woman get down there?
Yeah.
It's not her, it's me. It's me.
Yeah, that's not a woman, that's Jimmy.
Yeah, first of all, I think it's super funny that you think you'd be anywhere in the mines. You'd be upstairs. You'd be upstairs, like, writing a list of, like, the people
Yeah.
who were going down for the search efforts. Let me make a schedule, guys. It's
Yeah.
fine. I don't
I wouldn't be at the front of that
No.
front of that. No. But if I was. The next year, he murdered the 2 supervisors who left their posts the previous year, cut out their hearts and placed them in Valentine's candy boxes, with a note from Harry warning the town never to hold the Valentine's Day dance ever again, or he will commit more killings. Warden was placed in an insane asylum, and the accident was forgotten, so the dance resumed.
Mhm.
I would argue Harry should have went to the insane asylum after all the cannibalism. Oh wait, he was in a state mental institute after that.
He was.
Yeah.
He is.
Okay.
Didn't he escape?
Yeah, but yeah, he came back to town the
Yeah, came
next
back to town,
Valentine's. He
killed
either
the
escaped. I
other
hope they didn't
2.
let him out.
No, they didn't let him out.
Yeah.
I think he escaped,
Yeah.
went back to the
I
town,
hope.
killed the 2 guys who left early from the party,
Yeah.
jerks. And then they like locked him up.
Yeah.
Because I think they thought we can fix him. No, you can't.
Yeah. Our bad. A group of young residents is excited about the dance. Gretchen, Dave, Hollis, Patty, Sylvia, Howard, Mike, John, Tommy, and Harriet, Sarah, Axel, and Mayor's son TJ are involved in a tense love triangle. I'm sorry, there's a period in there. I made it sound like everyone was in
I
a
was
huge
gonna
love triangle.
say that's a lot of people in that triangle.
Well, that wouldn't be a triangle. That'd be 13. So a tetradecagon or 14 people, a tridecagon.
It's really
Yeah, I think so.
God,
But it's Sarah, Axel, and the mayor's son TJ are involved in a tense love triangle. That could have been a great whodunit, a who's who of doing it. They're all just trying to figure out who's banging who at the end. It's everyone.
No kidding, right?
They all
Then
just
you have-
laugh. The big guy Halls is suddenly naked. Just ends with an 81's orgy. Fucking ascots and handle mustaches everywhere. Ugh. Yeah, I'm getting off track here. Mayor Hanniger and Mayor Hanniger and the town's police chief, Jake Newby, receive an anonymous box of Valentine chocolates containing a human heart and a note warning that the murders will begin if the dance proceeds. That evening, resident Mabel is murdered by a mining geared killer in a laundromat, and her heart is removed. Newby publicly reports that she died of a heart attack to prevent a panic. He contacts the mental institution where Harry Warden was incarcerated, but they have no record of him.
Which I thought was really great. Also, I felt really, really bad for Mabel.
Yeah.
Because apparently she really thought she was getting real Valentines.
Yeah.
And then she didn't. There was just a really, really creepy note. And then, dying. But her death was amazing.
Yeah.
I enjoyed
gross. That. I was wondering, would a dryer really do that to you?
It could.
Yeah,
it
probably.
Could. Well, depending on how long you let it run for.
Yeah, gross.
It could definitely do that. She basically cooked.
Yeah.
And that was my favorite part about it. The sheriff's walking around the laundry mat and is like, what does that smell? He's like smelling his pipe. He's like opening up different machines because he's like, what is that?
Yeah.
And then the dryer stops, it pops open, and Mabel pops out. And I'm like, yes.
Mabel was
and
cooking.
Ew.
And the lady at the loony bin is like, he either was released, moved, or died. I don't know.
Yeah. She's like, we have no record of him.
Yeah.
Ever. And they're like, well, isn't there some way you can find it? We can look at I think she said the microfiche, which is those little microfilms. God, back in the day, it was so hard to.
But it would take a while.
It would take a while. She's like, it'll take a few days. And he's like, I need that answers now. And she's like, well, why am I going to look through that for you?
Yeah.
Lady.
And that is what it was like in better times, kids. Don't let losing track of the odd serial killer every now and then take away from the fact they were better times. Mom stayed home. Dads drove home on back roads drunk from parties. Kids played outside all the time. Yes, some kids ended up on milk cartons. But we had no texting, no internet. We didn't know. As far as we know, copacetic. Because the 97 or 96% of the kids who didn't end up missing, good times. It was wonderful. Hanniger and Newby cancel the dance, but the town's youngsters decide to hold their own party at the mine. This is such a bad idea. Even I know that.
Such a bad idea.
Even without the serial killer, that's not a good idea. The bartender warns them against it, but is killed by the miner while trying to set up a dummy miner to scare the group. Nice kill. The dragging across the parking lot.
It was a great kill.
Yeah.
This movie has some really, really good kills in it.
It does. Yeah. And it kind of made me think, like, I went actually and saw what was missing from, and all those kills were just expanded upon. Every kill had a lot more to it, was more violent, more gross. So I kind of wouldn't mind seeing the unrated version.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're right about here. We're at the halfway point. The love triangle is in full swing. Alex and TJ play harmonica for old time's sake, smack each other around for a bit. TJ abducts Sarah and takes her to the ocean to make out. For those listening, Sarah didn't put up much of a fight on either account.
Okay, I feel like I should give more context because you're just, like, brushing over this.
Yeah.
Okay, so Sarah and TJ were totally together, right? But then TJ is all like, "I'm gonna go out onto the West Coast." So he goes out onto the West Coast for a whole year, doesn't fucking contact Sarah. So
No.
Sarah's like, "What the fuck?" So anyways, Sarah ends up starting to date Axel. Axel and Sarah seem to be very, very enamored with each other. TJ comes back, and then he's all, like, mad because Sarah's dating Axel, but Sarah's all like, "Yo, where did you go? You didn't even call me." Finally, they have a talk. TJ is all, "Sarah, I was failing out there. Like, I went out there and I thought I was gonna be a big shit, but I was just shit. I don't know what happened. I couldn't tell you that." And she's like, "You could have just written me a letter." Then they make out, and now we're back.
Right. Everything that she said is true. The sheriff gets a box of chocolates, thinking there might be a heart inside, but it's just from Mabel to the sheriff.
R.I.P.
And then he's
Mabel.
kind of sad because he won't be banging Mabel on Valentine's Day. She dead. She cooked. He would have been fluffing Mabel's delicates. I'd like to say something more wittier, but that's the best I got, people.
I don't know. That was pretty good. That was pretty good. I give you points for that.
So are we at this point excited, bored, can't wait for what's coming, can't wait for it to be over? Where are we now? Like, where are you now at this point of the movie?
At this point of the movie, I've been sucked in.
Yeah.
Like, that was something I actually noted. I was like, so cheesy, but it pulls you in. Because now because I had forgotten completely. I was like, is it Harry? Is it not Harry? Because I remember the remake and how that ends. So I was like, is it like the remake or did they go off script for like what's going on? So I
Yeah,
was
I can
very into
remember
it.
anything here.
Yeah, I was like, I'm into it. I wanna know who's going around killing people, and I also wanna know how strong they are that they can just rip out people's hearts. I'm like, "This is impressive." So, I was very into it at this point, and I was actually surprised by that.
Yeah. Yeah, same. Yeah, I was getting into it. It is 1981, but
True.
it is fun.
It is fun. Also, everybody's East Coast Canadian accents,
Yeah.
fucking fantastic.
Which is a lot like East Coast American accent, if you're up in Maine, that area a bit.
A little bit.
Um, it's definitely East Coast. Definitely,
Oh, yeah.
definitely, definitely East Coast. Yeah, no, I'm having it's fun thus far. At the party, the miner brutally kills Dave. His heart is subsequently found boiling in a pot of hot dogs being prepared in the kitchen. Okay, wait. Dave isn't just brutally killed, he's drowned in boiling hot dog water.
Yes.
While some of the effects of this movie are of its time, some are well done for its time, some are not great, and Dave being boiled with hot dogs are in the not so great. Like that water wasn't even boiling.
Yeah,
It was
no.
not a great effect.
That was not the greatest effect. However, the after effects on his face,
Yes.
fantastic.
They were good.
So good.
Yeah. And the other part, and the fact that it wasn't that good, being drowned in hot dogs filled water it made it all passable. It's still fun.
Yeah.
Shortly after, Sylvia is impaled on a shower head by the miner. This is one of the scenes that shows more in the unrated version I did read, where you actually see.
Yeah.
But what the fuck was that guy doing when he went to get beers? Like, he
What do you
took a
mean?
while.
He did take a while.
Yeah,
It
but
seemed like
finding
he took fucking forever, but I think he actually went, like, across the
yeah,
compound because they were hanging out, like, where the miners
yeah,
come
get
up
ready
from
to
the
go out.
mine,
Yeah.
get ready with the things and because they're the uniforms and whatever. So I think they were in a different building. So he had to cross to get it.
Yeah.
And she just laid there,
Yeah.
just relaxing.
And you can tell the shower, like her head was impaled and the
Yeah.
water was coming out of her mouth.
Can I tell you, like, when I realized that, because I actually rewound that scene, because I was like, "I don't think I saw that right." And you can kinda see where her chin is and the pipe, and you can see the water that's coming out has
Yeah.
blood, and you're like, "Oh, that's what happens. Oh my god." Because when you see those showers, they're not, like really nice, like, moire? They're not really nice shower heads. They're just
No.
pipes.
Yeah, there's pipes.
It's harsh.
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh, oh god."
When the others realize Dave and Sylvia have been murdered, they contact authorities, but several of the party goers have already decided to enter the mines for fun. Great line by Axel. Harry Warden is here. Everyone get the fuck out. You don't get that to the point directness in a lot of horror movies, and get the fuck out they do, because it's like every man and woman for themselves.
Yep.
No one save for Axel and TJ sticks around to help. Newbie rushes into the mines with police to rescue them. The miner impales a large drill into Mike and Harriet.
Mhm.
Who's Mike and Harriet? Oh, right. Mike
They
was
were
the
the
one.
couple
He
having
was the one in
the
the shower when the guy was like, Jesus, dude, just throw that over your shoulder.
Yes, they broke off from the group,
Yeah.
and they were like, "We're gonna go back up, guys," but really they just went down a different shaft
Yeah.
so that Harriet could go down his shaft. It was like a whole thing.
Yeah. 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 And you don't see the kill. You see the result of the kill.
Yes.
Yeah. And I'm wondering if you actually see the kill. And I'm very curious about the unrated version.
I'm curious too, because this satisfied me. This movie satisfied me with their killings.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I wonder if I would be more satisfied or if I'd be like, it's a little excessive if I watch the unrated version.
Yeah. Yeah. Could be. Hollis finds them, him and his handlebar mustache.
Okay.
Gets scared, and then the miner shoots a nail gun into Hollis's head. Horrified, Howard flees. Okay, first Hollis didn't just die; he made it back to the group and then
He
died.
did. Yeah.
Second, I identify and understand Howard completely in this movie. In his defense, that chick is like, I can't leave Hollis, and they're like, he's dead, and the guy moving toward us is the killer.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sarah's like, you can't just leave us, Howard. And Howard's like, watch me, bitch.
He was not playing around. Also, the actor that plays Howard, Alf Humphreys,
He has done a shitload. Oh my God.
he is in everything,
Yeah.
everywhere. I guarantee you have watched at least 5 things he's in,
Yeah.
bare minimum.
I couldn't
Everybody
believe the
go
amount
look
of
him up.
crap he did. Yeah.
He's
He
in
did a lot.
everything. He does a lot of, I think, Hallmark and Lifetime movies, and he's just like, he's in I love him. Anyways, go on.
All right. So the remaining 4 try to climb to the top with the ladder, but discover a dead, beheaded Howard. There is a lot of killing in this movie.
There really is.
There's a lot of killing on screen, and there's a lot of killing off screen.
Mhm.
While finding their way out, Axel drowns and Patty is killed by the miner. How did stupid Patty die? That's the one that didn't want to leave Hollis.
Yeah, she didn't wanna leave Hollis. Eventually,
Yeah.
Sarah,
They go up the
Axel,
ladder.
and Thing, they go up the ladder. She's the one that keeps like, "I can't go on, I can't go on."
That's
I'm like, "What the
right.
fuck are you gonna do?" Oh god, how does she get killed?
Yeah, see, I would have been catching up to
I
her on
think she
that
gets
ladder
a
and
I think she
climbing
gets a
over top of her.
pickaxe to her, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay. Yeah, I would have been passing her like, out of my way, you dopey broad.
Yeah, well, you would have to climb over her.
Yeah, I would. Or grab her by the ankle and yank her down. Equality counts for stupid chicks. So, oh, hold on. So dry in here tonight. Thank God. Okay, so the miner chases TJ and Sarah, and a fight ensues. The miner is revealed to be Axel,
Yes.
who faked his own demise, drowning. Then a flashback shows that Axel's father was one of the supervisors killed by Harry Warden. As a child, Axel witnessed Harry Warden murdering his father and tearing out his heart, which traumatized him. Fair enough. TJ hits Axel with a rock, resulting in the tunnel collapsing, which trapped Axel as Newbie and the police arrive to rescue TJ. And Sarah rescues TJ and Sarah. Chief Newbie reveals to them that Harry Warden died 5 years earlier. TJ and Sarah hear a rescuer shout that Axel is still alive, and they rush back to the scene. They watch as Axel frees himself from the debris, by amputating his arm. Did he amputate his arm?
He did. He was armless.
Oh, I missed that completely. That would
Yeah.
explain the way he was running in a weird way.
Well,
like
it
in
was so
pain.
funny because he starts running.
I just thought the crazy took over.
Well, when he started running away, I was like, he's not gonna make it far. His arm is just like half gone.
He runs deeper into the mine, shouting threats that he and Harry Warden will return and murder everyone in town, and mumbling about Sarah being his Bloody Valentine. There's a tagline that didn't make that much sense. It seems to be implied that Axel's words are just words of insanity and blood loss, which it is also implied that he is dying from. The film ends with Axel laughing manically as a ballad from Harry Warden plays over the film credits. I like the ending song.
I liked the ending period. It was a good, freaky, creepy ending.
Yeah, I like folk music too. So,
Yeah, it was actually a really nice song, and I was kind of mad. I was like, "Oh, this is a great song."
And that is our movie from 1981. Our first
Yeah, it is.
My Bloody Valentine. So, what is your score?
So my score is a little weird. I'm a buy it. Buy it. Because you know what? It is a classic low budget horror from the 80s. I found myself engaged with it. It was well paced. It has smart use of FX and the way they stage the kills. Lots of creepy moments throughout. It wasn't an overall creepy movie, but it did have creepy moments, which I actually liked because they snuck up on you. And you like you're watching and you're like, "Oh, okay, cool, cool, cool. Oh God. Ew. Why would they do that?" It was entertaining and I enjoyed it a lot. And honestly, right now on Prime, you can buy it for $4.99. So I say buy it because it'll make a nice like rewatch, when
You
you're
can
having
buy
the
it for $4.99?
Yeah.
I rented it for $4.99.
Bought it for $4.99, my friend.
Oh, I watched it last week.
Oh, see, I watched it
Fuckers.
yesterday, I think.
Yeah, okay. New week, yeah, so.
Yeah, so when I went to I was like, I wonder if they're renting it for cheaper. I was like, they're renting it for $4.99, or I can buy it for $4.99. So I just bought it for $4.99. But even if it was $10.99 or even $14.99, I'd still buy it because yes, it's a cheesy 80s horror movie, but it holds up. Like, it's still creepy, the kills are still good. You can still make fun of what everybody's wearing and how they're acting. Like, it's an entertaining film. It's an entertaining hour and a half.
All right. My score.
Hit me.
When looking back at older slashers from the 70s and early 80s, like Black Christmas and Terror Train, this ranks in between. It is no Black Christmas, but it is far better than Terror Train, and it leans more toward Black Christmas than Terror Train. It is not the greatest acted, but it is fun. Its effects are a product of a time, which means sometimes they look great, sometimes they look like things you can now buy in the dollar store. The editing and pacing was a little off in some places, but overall, it's a fun movie. If I saw this on sale on the cheap, and it was the unrated cut, I would buy it. But as is, I can't recommend buying it because of the amount of times I'm going to rewatch this. Will I rent it again down the road? Sure. If it pops up on streaming service down the road, yes. But I can recommend renting it at a regular price. I would definitely buy the unrated version. Yeah. Just because my curiosity is because of what they did. Yeah. I would add the unrated version to my collection. I would be pissed if it wasn't as good, but I don't see that.
Yeah.
Because this is just cheesy as is. It can either be better or cheesier, which is a win-win.
Exactly.
So movie as is, I would say rent it. Unrated version, I would add it to my collection. Yeah. I actually might search this one out and try to find it unrated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, when I think of slumber party horror movies, this is a movie that I would think of. Like, if I was a teenager today, oh yeah, I'd put this shit on and we would be harshly making fun of all of their clothing, their makeup, their hairstyles, all of that stuff. And then we would also be making fun of the way they act, but we would also be grossed out enough by all the random hearts, all the murders, like that kind of stuff, that it has a nice balance for entertainment's value.
Yeah.
So I'm like, yeah, for sure. Much better than Terror Train.
Oh my God, yeah. Like I said,
Although
this is
the
no
Tubi
Black
Terror
Christmas,
Train,
but it does head to that direction more
yeah,
than yeah.
that's why when I was watching it, I was like, this isn't as creepy as Black Christmas,
No,
but
but
it has a lot of the same elements.
yeah,
So,
some
like, yeah,
tones and yeah.
there are some times where you're just like, "Oh, okay, like, this is just a regular cheesy 80s movie." You forget the horror part,
Yeah.
and then the horror part, like, sneaks up and smacks you in the head, and you're like, "Oh, right, horror movie. Gotcha." Um, but yeah, no, the Terror Train on Tubi's Terror Train, which I think is on Crave too, uh, super good.
Oh, the remake.
The remake is really good.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if you wanna watch a better Terror Train, watch that one. Although Jamie Lee Curtis, let's give her love too.
Yeah. All right. So we have a buy it and a rent it, and for this version, and a buy it from me if you're looking at the unrated version.
Mhm.
All right. So that was My Bloody Valentine 1981. We are now going to watch the preview or play the preview of My Bloody Valentine 2009. And when we come back from this one, we are going to review it. Welcome back to the I Remember Liking That Movie podcast. We are in the 2000s, and we are about to take a look at a remake of a 1980s slasher, My Bloody Valentine. What do you remember about My Bloody Valentine?
I remember Jensen Ackles. I actually remember this movie fairly well, and I remember pretty much the story of it. And I remember watching it and thinking, God, this is so incredibly cheesy, but very entertaining. And I did feel bad for like 30 seconds because I dragged my friend who hates scary movies to the theaters to watch this on Valentine's Day
Nice.
in 2009. I was like, it's out, let's go. And she was like, "Mm." But yeah, no, I remember a lot about it, which actually surprised me.
Well, yeah, it has Jensen Ackles. It has Jamie King, Betsy Rue. It has Tom Atkins from. He's been in a lot. All that's coming to mind is Halloween 3. But yeah, there's the other kid from Kerr Smith. Was he in Dawson's Creek?
Dawson's Creek, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, there are a
So
lot of like
yeah,
actors that were very popular at the time, and a lot of them are still working fairly regularly now.
yeah, and it was directed by Patrick Lussier, who was known more as an editor until he did Terminator Genesis, Dracula 2000, Drive Angry. But I don't know if this was his directorial debut. I just want to take a look. No. Oh, he's done some great ones. Oh, he did a bunch of that. He did Scream the TV series, did an episode. He directed Dracula 2000, The Prophecy 3, Dracula 3, White Noise, The Light. Yeah, so he's done a lot in horror. I remember I did not go to the theater and see this. I rented it. And I remember renting it going, this was probably a third or fourth movie. And I'm like, I just got it because it was new. And I thought for sure it was going to suck ass. And then I remember watching it going, this was actually really good. I like this movie. It surprised me. Oh,
Yeah.
if you went to the theater, did you watch it in 3D?
I did. I did watch it in 3D. The 3D, I have a beef with 3D movies because I feel the 3D is completely unnecessary. And 9 times out of 10, whatever is actually 3D is so superfluous to the movie. Like, you're like, you put that in just so you could have a 3D element. And
Yeah.
that's annoying.
Charge a couple more bucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, this movie does not need to be in 3D. And nor did Step Up 3D need to be in 3D.
Oh, who the fuck would watch Step Up 3D? You.
That would be me. I have watched all of the Step Up movies.
Did you watch that new one where it was turned into a horror movie?
No, you're thinking of Bring It On.
I am thinking of Bring It On. Yeah.
Bring It On got there's a chair horror movie, and it was it was amazing, kind of terrible, but amazing. I love this.
Step Up is the school dance one, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
It starts in the school dance, continues in a school dance, then goes out to the streets
And then 3D. Why would
at
they?
3D in the streets.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah,
God.
right.
It's amazing. It's amazing. It's terrible, but amazing. You really have to be a dance fan to watch the Step Up movies and not want to kill yourself. Just FYI.
I'm pretty sure I've seen the first one.
Oh God. I tried rewatching the first one and I was like, I think I just have to put this on mute because I can't listen to this crappy dialogue. I'm just gonna watch the dancing.
Nice. Okay, so let's take a look at box office for My Bloody Valentine 2009. It was released June 16th, 2009. What the fuck?
No, it's January.
Actually is January, isn't it?
Yeah, January 16th, 2009.
I would have put that in wrong. Oh, get out of here, you. So yes, it was actually, yes, January 16th, because I remember, okay, you're a month, less than a month out, but you are within that area.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
It was
that
still in
good.
theaters for Valentine's Day.
Yeah. Budget, $15 million. That's not that bad, really. Opened in 2,534 theaters at number 3, with a weekend total of 8.2 million. Behind new releases Paul Blart Mall Cop and Notorious. Now, domestically, it brought in about 51, so it already made money, and international 49. So it made over 100 million. So it did quite well. Like
Yeah,
not a runaway, but that's not bad on 15 million.
they made a straight profit on that. Like,
I'm surprised there was not a My Bloody Valentine 2.
I'm surprised too. Because I thought they would have just kept making sequels until the general public was like, please stop.
Or at least a straight to rental or DVD My Bloody Valentine 2. Yeah. Especially when it makes that much money. But what do we know?
Apparently not enough.
No. All right, let's go to the tail tape for My Bloody Valentine 3D. Came out in 2009. It's a holiday horror. It is rated R and comes in at 1 hour and 41 minutes. Taglines. That's actually pretty cool.
That's a great image.
For those listening, it's My Bloody Valentine 3D wallpaper. It's a box of chocolates, and in the middle is an actual heart. Even the lighting on it's creepy.
Yep.
On January 16th, Get Your Heart Broken.
Yeah, that's not bad. Not great.
Nothing says date movie like a 3D ride to hell.
That's shitty. That's so shitty.
He's going to break your heart.
Okay, see, they should have done that for the first one instead of Harry's going to break your heart. He's going to break your heart. Perfect.
You can't get closer than this.
That don't make no sense.
3D.
No, then stupid.
2009, they were really pushing the.
Yeah.
Are you ready for your heart to be broken? He's going to do it.
That's stupid.
Yeah, these are bad. Get your heart broken. That's it.
That was disappointing.
Yeah.
1981 had better taglines.
Yeah. Synopsis. 10 years ago, an inexperienced coal miner named Tom Hanniger Jensen Eccles caused an accident that killed 5 men and put a 6th, Harry Warden, into a coma. A year later, on Valentine's Day, Harry woke up and murdered 22 people with a pickaxe before dying. Now Tom has returned home, still haunted by the past, and something else is back in harmony. A axe-wielding killer in a miner's mask, who may be the ghost of Harry, come to claim Tom and his friends. So a little more of a story in this one.
Yeah. Like it ties the past to the present other than just don't celebrate Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
Like it's almost like a personal vendetta thing as opposed to a general town curse.
Yeah. And here is the poster for My Bloody Valentine. My Bloody Valentine. It looks like they're pushing the 3D. For those listening, it's kind of like a motion of the pickaxe coming out of the poster. It's okay. It's
fine.
Yeah. Nothing great. All right. Now we go to Rotten Tomatoes. This was surprising. 110 critic reviews and it has 62%. That's high for a horror movie, especially
That's
for
really high.
critics. 100,000 audience has that 44%. That's weird.
It's weird that the audience is lower than the critics for this.
Yeah, I could see
And-
if this was like a really great story, had a lot of depth, but it doesn't. So I don't get why the audience dislikes it less than unless I forgot something. Critics' consensus is this gory, senses assaulting slasher film is an unpretentious, effective mix of old school horror stylings and modern 3D technology. All right, let's start with the fresh, and you may go first.
The movie provides a few hearty laughs, a profusion of nonsensical stupidity, and plenty of so bad it's good moments to entertain viewers in the back row, whispering to each other about the inanity of it all. Brian Eggert, Deep Focus Review, original score 2.5 out of 4.
My Bloody Valentine 3D is a cheap, tacky, and throwaway as the plastic glasses that come with it. But for a good old-fashioned Friday night at the movies, it's damn near unbeatable. Ali Gray, theshiznit.co.uk, original score 4 out of 5. And that's what I'm looking for. That's in any horror movie.
100%.
It just has to be, just has to be fun.
Yeah. Cheesy at times, not the best acting wise, but much more entertaining than it had any right to be, thanks to a cheerful embrace of the 3 Bs of 80s horror: boobs, blood, and brutality. Ron Hogan, Den of Geek, original score 3 out of 5.
Yes, and can we just bring that back? Boobs. Because that's sorely lacking in today's horror movies, and there's a reason. You want people to go back to the theater? Boobs, blood, and brutality.
You've got problems. Like, I'm just gonna straight up say it. You've got this little obsession with boobs.
Hey, Ron Hogan agrees with me. And
Ron Hogan has a problem.
I get it. Like, if
y'all need to be in Boobs Anonymous.
Yeah, if you guys want penises, I get it. More penis. I just need a trigger warning.
No, I'm fine.
Like a little cartoon penis in the right-hand corner that when you see him. Hey, it's me, Mr. Penis. There's a real big fleshy thing coming. So if you have that's my trigger. Oh, it's Dr. Penis in the corner. Close your eyes, kids.
Oh God.
All right,
here's very few very impressive penises. I'm just gonna say, like, FYI.
Yes. There was a lot of positive reviews for a horror movie. So these are still actual
critics.
It's a motherfucking crowd pleaser. Dustin Rolls, Pajiba. Am I saying that right? Pajiba?
Sure.
It's an
Pajiba?
entertainment website.
Yeah.
Pajiba? Yeah.
For any old school horror fan, this movie is a good fit and a super fun ride. Robert Fuhr, Film School Rejects.
It is absolutely nuts and bolts. It does what it says in the packet. Mark Kermode, BBC.com.
It's lowbrow entertainment with high-tech execution, and while it's anything but scary, it is cheesy, corny, gimmicky, gory fun. William Goss, Cinematical.
Now we go to the bad.
I'm ready.
My Bloody Valentine has lousy gender politics for a slasher movie, and that's both disappointing and disconcerting because the film has probably made enough money to merit a sequel and inspire other 3D horror movies. Tammy Oller, Bitch Media.
Tell me more, Tammy.
Yeah, emphasis on the bitch, like meow. You and your gender
Did you
politics.
really just fucking meow?
Tammy.
Jeez. My Bloody Valentine 3D doesn't have nearly enough fun with either its jazzy technology or its inherently campy premise. Katie Rich, Cinema Blend, original score 2.5 out of 5.
Shocker, another girl.
Hey.
Looks like a theme running here.
Horror movies historically are not kind to women.
That's true. Yeah, that is true. Constantly brutal and consistently terrifying. The acting, that is. Michael Smith, Tulsa World, original score 2 out of 4.
Dang, Michael. Meow.
Wow. Yeah. Meow, Michael.
Meow, Michael.
IMDb, the voice of reason. 60,000 user ratings, comes at 5.4. Again, this is pretty standard for horror movies. Doesn't really persuade me at all. Although sometimes they get it right.
Yeah.
You may start.
Thank you. Bloody brilliant 3D experience and a pretty good movie. 10 out of 10. Spring, sunny, winter.
Yeah. The movie is all right.
That's all right. But the
But
3D,
the 3D, yeah. That's
they
what
did that right.
Axe and you shall receive. 9 out of 10. Zardoz 13. Nice
Very
play on
punny.
words, Zardoz.
I love this movie, 3D or not. 8 out of 10. La Boheme, 98.
Yeah, because it can't be all about the 3D because
Yeah.
I don't have a 3D TV. I don't think anyone has them anymore.
No.
They kind of
3D is
ran
not really a thing anymore.
No. Jensen Ackles fan will love this movie. Not fans, fan. The one fan that actually likes Jensen Ackles. He will love this movie. He or she will love this movie. Whoever you are.
You will love this movie. Only you.
Again, I just copy and paste. So,
and you do a damn good job. So sad, but also fun and awesome. 6 out of 10. Feast mode.
That was so bad.
Yeah.
You said so sad.
Did I say so sad? I'm sorry. So bad. But also fun and awesome. 6 out of 10. Feast mode. There we go. I'll get it right one day. Words are hard. Letters are difficult.
Yeah, there's a question mark at the end of this one. So this person wasn't quite sure if it was awesome or not.
They're like, but also fun and awesome?
Yeah. If you were wondering why Anna is kind of asking a question,
it's because they're asking.
It's there, yeah.
Feast mode is questioning their choices in life.
Yeah. If I think this is awesome.
Do I think this is awesome?
A severely mediocre remake of one of the finest the 80s has to offer. 5 out of 10, Light Darkness 14.
Oh, interesting. People with low standards and monkeys may enjoy this. 4 out of 10, fertile celluloid.
Yeah, that's a pretty big claim there. Fertile celluloid.
That's okay. Monkeys?
Comparing me with monkeys. Lots of people do, though. Close, but no cigar. Ah, hell, who am I kidding? Not even close. 3 out of 10. Rough certificate.
Yeah. Rough certificate. Anyways, I would say that Lionsgate stopped trying, but they never tried in the first place. 2 out of 10. Vegeta 3986.
Burn, Lionsgate. Burn. Oh, okay. Yeah, I remember this one. All right. All right. Here is the 1 out of 10 for My Bloody Valentine 2009. Graphic female nudity. Avoid. This movie poses as rated R, but should have been rated X or no less than NC-17. There is a long nude scene. It's about 7 minutes. A fully nude, beautiful blonde girl shown fully exposed, then proceeds to walk around nonstop. Score. The girl walks outside fully naked. You see her labia. Why couldn't she at least be in underwear? I do not understand that with all of the full-on nudity. It felt like they added these scenes as an excuse to have a bunch of naked women running around the set. Yeah. Duh. 1 out of 10, Lizzie Sweet Pie. Look, Lizzie. Look, Sweet Pie. What does that refer to? Lizzie. Sweet Pie.
Maybe she makes pies for a living.
She did not like this movie because of... I don't remember this part at all in the movie.
I don't remember it either, which is concerning me because I remember a lot about this movie, but I'm like, I do not remember a 7-minute long scene with a naked girl just walking around, labia a flying. Like, I don't remember that.
No.
So I'm like,
I will be on the lookout for it now.
Well, you're always on the lookout for nudity, so let's be fucking real. But that's also another issue that is huge in horror movies in general. Any excuse to get a woman naked, they will do it. Any excuse to get a man naked, everybody on set and in production pretends they don't know what that means. And they're like, what? Men can get naked? I don't believe that. That's not true. Let's keep them fully dressed at all times. But make all the girls naked. I'm going to make a horror movie and it's going to be just a bunch of naked men getting killed.
Ugh.
Yeah, you won't watch it. But every single woman in the world is going to be like, yeah, let's watch that. I'd watch it. Go and kill an entire fraternity.
Just dicks flopping around everywhere. That doesn't sound
actually,
fun at all.
I think I might actually write this. I feel like it writes itself.
Yeah. Okay, so Anna's new movie is set aside. We have looked at the box office, we looked at the tail of the tape, and we have the reviews of My Bloody Valentine 2009 3D. We are not watching it 3D, but we are going to watch the trailer, and then we're going to make a prediction on whether or not we are going to like this movie or not.
Exactly what did you see?
Something was following us.
This is the most horrific event this town has ever seen. Authorities are calling this the Valentine's Day Massacre.
In the town of Harmony, something unexplainable
Hello?
is happening.
Come here, you better check this out.
What is that?
This January, prepare to witness.
What do you want?
The most frightening 3D motion picture event to tear through the screen. My Bloody Valentine 3D. Nothing says date movie like a 3D ride to hell.
Now, if 3D actually looked like that, that'd be cool.
Yeah, it did not look like that. Not even a little bit. God bless.
No. All right. So what's your prediction about My Bloody Valentine?
I think I'm still going to love it. I think I'm still going to love it because you know what? It wasn't that long ago, even though it was, what, like 13 years ago that it came out? 15 years ago it came out.
Yeah, 15
That's
years ago. That's a while ago.
Terrifying. Shut up. But I did see it a few times after that, and I always enjoyed it then. It has been probably about 10 years since I've seen it, at least.
Mhm.
So, but I think I'm still going to like it. I think I'm still really going to like it. Also, Jensen Ackles is a hottie.
And I like Jensen Ackles. I'm trying to catch up on The Boys on
Mm.
Amazon, and he plays one of the supers, and
Yeah.
he's funny in it. But again, I didn't think I was going to like it when I first saw it, and I was pleasantly surprised. It can't have changed that much. I just remember it being cool and gory.
Yeah.
And now I got a bonus to look for. Yeah, I'm very excited about watching this movie.
And there is so many
I think I'm going to like
actors
it.
in that
Yeah.
everybody recognizes and that, you know, are either great talent or people you just like to watch. And I really appreciate that. Also, when I was watching that, I was like, who was that playing? I remember that girl being the lead girl. And I'm like, she doesn't, like, she looks familiar, but she's not. And then I realized it was just Jamie King not being a blonde.
Yeah, she's not blonde in it. Yeah.
Which, like, fucked me up because her face almost felt completely different. And I was like, wow, the power of a hair color change. Jeez. But I love her. So I'm like, I'm ready. Let's do this.
Yeah, I just watched, well, not just watched, Black Summer. She's in.
Yeah.
That's a
Yeah, I
surprisingly
like the Black
really
Summer.
cool show.
Yeah.
Like
I watched the first season. I still have to watch the second. It's been out for a while, but I loved her in it. And I was like, girl, I feel like you've been missing your calling. This is amazing.
Yeah. All right. Well, we are going to go watch My Bloody Valentine 2009. And when we come back, we are going to review it.
Yeah, we are.
Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
Delicious things to eat.
The popcorn can't be beat. The sparkling drinks are just dandy. The chocolate bars and the candy. So let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
And now, on with the show.
All right. right, welcome back to the I Remember Liking That Movie podcast. Did you watch My Bloody Valentine starring Jamie King, Jensen Ackles, Kerr Smith, and a very naked, bless her heart, Betsy Rue?
Yes, I did.
We apologize to Leslie Sweetie Pie or whatever her name was. There was definitely a long scene with a naked woman in it.
Yes. Yes, there was.
And why not just go all the way like Betsy LaRue? Way better.
I don't know, maybe because her name is not Betsy LaRue.
Yeah, but you're an actor. You can change your name.
Yeah,
What are
you
your
can.
initial thoughts on My Bloody Valentine 3D? Well, My Bloody Valentine 2009.
Ridiculous, but a good time. Ridiculous, but a good time. That's all I got for you, man. There's so much. There's so much.
Much like its predecessor, this was not a perfect, but it was a lot of fun. The acting was better most of the time. The gore was better. There was a lot of shots, close-ups, and action sequences absolutely done for the 3D effect, which made it corny sometimes. And I 100% forgot the twist ending.
I did not forget the twist ending.
Yeah, I totally 100% forgot. Had me guessing, doubting myself, calling myself an idiot at the end. But all in all, I had fun. And when it comes to slashers or horror films in general, it's all about fun. Well, most fun film genres, not dramas.
Well, here's the thing. I always put it down to enjoyment. So
Yeah.
not necessarily fun, but enjoyment. But like when you're done the movie, if you could be like, that was a good use of my time. I really enjoyed watching that. Even if it tore your heart out, or even if you laugh through the whole thing, cry through the whole thing, whatever. As long as you're like, you walk out of it going, God, that was great. I really enjoyed that. You're good. Like it doesn't matter what the movie was about. So I had no regrets after watching this one.
Yeah, no, like I said, I did have a lot of fun watching it. All right, let's go through this 3D gore fest.
Mm-hmm.
On Valentine's Day, 1997, 6 miners are trapped underground by an explosion at the Hanniger mine in the small mining community of Harmony. By the time rescuers reach the miners, they find only comatose Harry Warden still alive. Further investigation reveals that Warden killed the other miners to conserve oxygen. Tom Hanniger, son of the mine's owner, is blamed for the explosion as he forgot to vent the methane lines that caused the collapse. Okay, they dropped the cannibalism. Why?
Yeah.
Yeah. That would have been great. And I don't know if snobby critics from like at the whole voiceover at the beginning tell the backstory in the open credits with flashbacks, which I love that.
I loved it too. I actually made it. I was like, it is great retelling of the original massacre.
Yeah.
Like the thing that really kicked off this whole story. I'm like, this is a great way to retell it without taking up too much of the film because it's during the opening credits. You've got voiceovers going, articles that are popping up.
Yeah.
It's perfect.
Yeah. No, I do like that when movies do that. Yeah, because it gives you a lot in a short amount of time.
Mm-hmm.
And and it allows them to concentrate more on the main story. And it sets it up a lot quicker, even if it is cannibal free. You get the whole story. Tom Hanniger fucked up. Harry Warden is a dick and just kills everyone to conserve air.
Because he decided he was going to live and nobody else.
Yeah. People are blaming Tom while others are saying it was a mistake. Harry is actually the bad guy here, and Harry is in a coma, right because they find him unconscious, but everyone else had a pickaxe hole in their head. So after some stellar police work, they come to the conclusion that Coma Boy is a murderer. And this whole opening was done in a way to make it look cool in 3D. And in fact, it actually looked cool.
Yeah, without the 3D.
Yeah, it was really it made it actually look cool. So that was cool. 1 year later, Warden has awakened from his coma and is now murdering as an act of revenge. I don't know about the revenge part. Well, I guess it wasn't his fault that it happened, but he starts by killing numerous patients and staff at the hospital where he was a patient, leaving a victim's heart in a box of chocolates. Nice callback to the original, but killing numerous people is an understatement. This fucker killed everybody.
Like he woke up from his coma and just started killing.
Well, he was sitting there with the dead body beside him. Like he was in the next curtain over, just sitting there, and the nurse sees him. But when we go back, and the police are there. There's a lot of bodies, like a
It
lot.
is literally like torn in half. And I'm like, "Sir,
Yeah,
like I maybe that coma was a little too restful for you, but come on. This is
yeah,
excessive."
yeah,
That was a super, super gory scene.
yeah.
Like
Body
super,
parts
yeah.
everywhere.
I was
Where he
like, "That's a
found that
little
after
much."
a coma, I do not know.
Uh,
Yeah, but he woke up raring to go.
Yep.
Um, and although this movie takes place on Valentine's, it doesn't embrace the holiday aspect like the
Mm-mm.
original. Like the original really leaned into Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
This one acknowledges it, but that's about it. Like there's a couple nods to Valentine's Day, but yeah. While Tom, his girlfriend Sarah, their friends Irene and Axel, and other teenagers party inside the mine, Warden, wearing miner gear and a gas mask, attacks them with a pickaxe. Sarah, Irene, and Axel escape, but Tom is left behind with Warden. Okay, in Tom's defense, he was left behind. Like they left him behind.
They ditched him.
Yeah,
Well, actually, let me rephrase. Axel grabbed the girls
yeah, yeah.
and ran.
I'll save the girls.
Yeah, I don't even think he said the girls. He was just like, "Run, leave him,
Yeah,
run." And I was like, "Wow, could you say it any louder that you want to fuck his girlfriend? Because
yeah,
this is not the way you get." But apparently it is. But I was like, "Geez, nobody's even." And then Sarah's like standing at the car, just watching and being like, "Oh."
yeah. Kind of felt sorry
Doing
for
nothing.
Tom.
I totally felt sorry for him.
Plus, he was obviously traumatized by the year before when they first got to the party.
Right.
Even I
Yeah,
could see that.
he was having moments because he didn't want to go back in the mine.
Yeah, I could see that. I actually have empathy deficit disorder, but she's like, I want to go party in the place where you were responsible for those murders.
Yeah,
I
the
like,
place that totally traumatized you,
yeah,
where it had the entire town turn against you.
yeah, I want to go there.
Let's go there. Let's have some beers. Get
Fuck you,
high.
yeah, fuck you, Sarah. That's why you don't have a movie career anymore, dick.
Mm,
Um,
harsh.
and yeah, Axel helped her. So Sheriff Burke arrives and shoots Warden before he can kill the severely traumatized Tom. But
Mhm.
Warden staggers away deeper into the mine.
Yes.
He did get a few people. I did like that whole scene where Axel does grab Sarah and like holding her mouth, and it was a good scene. I did like it.
No, it was great. The little chase scene, and then that guy who ends up getting killed because he like walks into the mine. He's like, "Hey guys," you're like,
Yeah,
"Jesus,
yeah, dude, shut the
sir,
fuck
you're
up.
gonna die." And I mean, I'm not mad about it because somebody has to.
Yeah. Now we go back 10 years later. Axel, now the town sheriff, has married Sarah, but is having an affair with her coworker Megan.
I
Yeah, he
thought you
is.
would be her employee.
Yeah, one weird because Axel still looks 18 years old. And this guy today has gray hair and still looks 18 years old.
He
He
looks
aged very well.
amazing. He is 51 years old.
Holy shit. And he
Hot
looks
as fuck.
like if he colored his hair, he could be
Oh,
29, 32. Easy. Easy.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. He needs to drop the skincare routine. We need to know.
Yeah. He must be
'Cause he looks
related to
incredible.
Paul Rudd.
We all find out they're distant cousins.
Yeah. And it was bugging the shit out of me, like who Megan was. The Blacklist.
Yeah.
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 It was
The black
bugging me,
mind
bugging
you,
me.
I
More.
remember her from Step Up Revolution, but
Yeah, I did not remember her from there.
yeah, no, Step Up Revolution. Apparently she also did Law and Order LA, but I was like, yeah, I was like, I know her face, and then I saw it and I was like, "Oh, that was her." But now that
Yeah.
you've said The Blacklist, I was like, "Oh,
I
right."
saw the first half of the first season and then I just stopped watching it. But yeah, I was bugging me,
Mm,
bugging me. And they have a little a nice little cabin to bang in. She gets
yeah.
him Valentines and chocolates, and he's like, "I didn't get you anything." And she's like, "Yes, you did. I'm pregnant." And he's like, "Fuck." He doesn't say
Yeah.
that, but the look on his face is
That's well, no, it started with the, "I got you a little something since you're probably gonna be with your wife on Valentine's Day."
yeah,
And she says it like it's totally normal, and I'm like, "Oh, you're one of those. You think You're gonna steal him away from his wife. You don't realize you're just the available pussy.
Yeah.
So he like when she hands him the Valentines, he's like,
Yeah.
yeah, okay. And then she's like, I'm pregnant. And you could see oh fuck.
Yeah. He's like, I hope you get killed. in
Because
this
now
movie."
he's like, we're gonna have to stop this. But first I have to convince you to get an abortion.
At the motel where Tom is staying, a masked assailant murders Irene and 2 other people. Okay. Yeah, the one of time Missy Lizzie Pie or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was 100% correct. Irene was completely nude, labia and all.
Yes.
I loved it.
I'm sure you did.
She worked out, and she wanted everyone to know that she worked out.
I hated this scene so fucking much.
She
And
seemed very
here's why.
comfortable walking around naked.
God bless. I mean, that takes a lot of comfort and like being okay in your body and also
Oh,
being
yeah.
okay on a movie set. I really hope they cleared the set for her.
Well, she was outside naked.
Yeah. But I'm saying like let's hope there weren't any looky-loos and they had proper security and they cleared the set of any extra crew that didn't need to be there cuz God bless. Um but it's funny to me at least because I was like she moved to get to the gun that was in her purse because she ends up having a lover's quarrel with the guy that she's fucking,
Yeah.
who apparently is also married. I
Yeah.
don't know why everybody wants to fuck married guys all of a sudden, but fine. And like he makes some comment. He has a camera.
Yeah, he's recording her.
He's
Their
recorded the
sexual.
sex that they've
Yeah.
had. And she's like, give me that, delete it.
And he's
I want the tape. And he's like, fuck
here's
that
some
shit.
money.
He's like, "What if I pay you?" She's like, "I'm not a whore." He's like, "You are today." And he like tosses money at her. And I was like, "Oh, fuck. Fine." He leaves. I was like, "I'm gonna tell you right now, you'd have to arrest me for murder because I would have killed that motherfucker if he had done that to me." But anyways, she moves her shirt to get to her purse to take out the gun and go threaten him. And I'm
Yeah.
like, "Girl, just put on your shirt. I'm not asking you to put on pants because I know you're pissed and you want to like shoot the motherfucker." I'm like, "I get it. Put on your shirt."
Yeah,
Just so your
Irene don't
titties aren't
care.
flying. But no, she just walks right out naked.
Walks right out, labia flapping in the wind.
Just all out there. I was like, those really are her labia. Hello. Nice to see you. Aren't
And it
you
was
cold?
around 7 minutes.
It was the fucking longest scene ever because she just stayed naked. And I'm like, come on, guys.
Yeah, she did. And the guy, yeah, she pointed the gun at him, said she wants the tape of them doing it. The guy knew it wasn't loaded. She chucked it at his head. He
Yeah.
called her something somewhere in the bitch area, crazy bitch.
Yes.
Opens the door. The minor killer's there and pickaxe right to the head.
And that was very
chases LaRue.
satisfying.
Yes. Chases LaRue or naked LaRue. She hides under the bed. The hotel manager comes in. This kill was awesome. It was a pickaxe golf swing.
Yes.
And she's gone. But unfortunately, LaRue gets it too.
Yes.
Yeah, she gets it. She puts up I don't know why she didn't go out the window or throw something to make it look like she got, but she did put up a bit of a fight, but she died in the end.
She did. God bless.
Yeah.
Naked.
Okay.
Still naked.
Yeah, yeah. So before we head back to the movie here, this is the very definition of gratuitous nudity. Like this
Yes.
wasn't side boob or just an ass shot or quick titty flash. This was as nude as you can get. And what were you thinking up to this point? Not about the nudity part. Like, well, yeah, the nudity part, but like the movie as a whole. Are you
Movie as a whole, up until we got to super naked, I was like, okay, perfect setup. We know the backstory. We see the players. We see the players' current day. Like, we're moving forward. And then we've seen Sarah. We've seen Axel. We've seen, I think at this point, Tom. So everybody in present day. So you're all caught up.
Yeah.
And now you have to show me Irene, cool, so that we know, you know what, her and Axel definitely not together. She's living a hot mess life, cool. Which is not a surprise. And then just to have her naked for 7 minutes, I was like, guys, you already know you're about to kill her off. Because, you know, this has to hit home for Axel. I'm like, I get that. But can you give her a little bit of dignity? Because it was excessive. It was really, really, really excessive.
Yeah, because during the sex scene, she's like looking up in the mirror. She's
Yeah,
like,
I look
damn,
great.
I look good.
I'm like, fuck yeah, 100%. But I'm like, you're walking out. There's a difference between I look great naked, fucking my side piece or my main piece, whatever he is, um, and walking out of the room to threaten that guy with a gun. You put on a piece of clothing. I'm not asking you to put on a whole outfit. I'm not asking you to like put on a pair of boots and socks and underwear. No, put on a shirt. Because it was a long gauzy shirt. I'm like, put on the shirt, button 3 buttons. Like, just make it make sense. Because I don't care how angry you are. You put on a shirt. You put something on. Put on a pair of panties. Something. You don't just go out labia flapping. I don't care who you are. Nobody ever gets that mad. That scared? Yes. That mad? No.
Camera
Very, very
footage from the
gratuitous.
scene reveals the killer dressed as a minor, starting rumors that Warden has returned. Axel receives a chocolate box containing Irene's heart. Meanwhile, Tom reconnects with Sarah and apologizes for his 10-year absence. Then he goes to the bar full of minors and they start a fight with him. Rightfully so. We find out he's selling the mine and everyone knows it'll eventually close down. Looking for Foley in the mine, Tom is locked inside a utility cage by the miner who murders the worker accompanying Tom and vanishes before help arrives. Same guy who tried to hit him and broke his hand or cut his hand. I like when they were going down and Tom sees his hand and he's like, how's the hand? That guy gets killed.
Yeah.
Tom insists that Warden has returned, but Axel reveals that Foley and Sheriff Burke found and killed Warden after his attack 10 years ago. The group visit the woods where Warden's body was buried, but find that the grave is empty.
Yep.
Tom resolves to track down and stop Warden. Searching the woods, he finds the shack that Axel and Megan have been using for their affair. Was I the only one freaked out about the rat?
I was a little bit.
Why is rats, they have that don't give a shit attitude? Any other animal would be freaked out and fuck off. Like ones that are even bigger than rats. As soon as you got into the house or put a flashlight, the rat is like eating the chocolate like, hey, buddy,
Yeah.
these are mine.
Yeah, the rat doesn't give a fuck. Rats
No.
don't give a fuck.
I know, it's creepy. I fucking hate rats. Thankfully, I do not see a lot of them.
Good for you.
That night, the miner kills Foley and leaves his body in Warden's grave. Who's Foley? Oh, Ben Foley, the lawyer guy.
Yes.
Yes. Great kill.
So great. And I feel really bad for the housekeeper / Danny.
Yeah.
Who's coming up.
I don't know why he took the
She's my
bullets out
favorite
of the gun. But the point where the killer is pulling his head over and positioning over the pickaxe, and Ben realizes he can't overpower the killer, and he's like, "Oh shit!"
Yeah.
Pickaxe right through the eye.
It was the leaning back and seeing the foot go down.
Yeah.
I was like, "Ooh,
Yeah,
that hurts."
That night, Axel realizes the killer must be one of the few people aware of the grave and becomes increasingly suspicious of Tom, which makes sense, but Axel makes a lot of sense too. One, Axel was the copycat or the killer in the first movie.
Yes.
Axel needs to get rid of a certain forgot to take my birth control. So it's one of those two, or it's a third party. And more than one horror movie has done this before, just some random killer just because. But I do think this movie is doing a good job, especially if it's your first time watching. Keeping you guessing.
If you haven't watched the original, all of this is new to you.
Yeah.
So there's nothing for you to draw on. So you're like, I mean, there could be it could be him, it could be, Axel, it could be Tom, it could be the creepy lawyer until he dies. And then you're like, it's not him.
Yeah. And I know a lot of you are listening and going, I know who the killer is, or it's so obvious. Well, excuse me. It's not my fault God made me pretty.
Sure he did. Sure. So pretty.
God made me pretty and not able to guess movie killers. So sorry. The miner attacks Sarah and Megan, killing Megan just before Axel arrives. Okay, Wikipedia doesn't give this scene justice. Now, first,
No.
forget about the part that the killer gets into the pharmacy, and instead of just going after them directly, he tiptoes around to make it more dramatic and scary.
Of course.
Because Sarah and Megan aren't hiding, they're talking aloud, not sign language. The killer could have easily zeroed in on them. Forget that stupidity. This is a great scene.
No, it is.
Then walking past like the grocery lane, and he's at the end of it, and then going back because they forgot something, and he's gone. The chase through the grocery store lanes, the whole trapped in the back office trying to get it, very realistic.
Yeah.
And Sarah figuring out something is wrong when he stops trying to get through the door, and he's yelling at Megan to get back into the
Yes.
office. Yeah, it was a good scene. I love this scene.
She's yelling at Megan to get back in, yet doing nothing to help her.
No.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
You could tell also, I want to point this out, throughout this movie, up until this point, she keeps giving Megan kind of dirty looks. Megan keeps making little comments
Yeah.
that, very, very, very subtly say, I'm fucking your man. And Sarah keeps giving her look saying, I know you're fucking my man. So there's a lot of like subtext in their
Yeah.
little relationship. So
She
I was
didn't want
like,
Megan to die. She
I
wasn't
was like,
sorry that
she's
Megan died.
saying come back to stay alive.
Yeah.
But what she's doing is absolutely nothing to help her.
Yeah.
And I can respect that. I can respect that.
Okay, yeah. And let's be honest, from the dumbest and cheesiest of horror movies to the smartest and scariest horror movie, they all need a certain degree of forgiveness when it comes to being logical about this stuff.
Mm.
Sarah's hospitalized with minor wounds. The miner then kills former Sheriff Burke as well as the maid of Axel and Sarah's home. Okay, didn't he get the deputy too? The female officer that was going in. So the maid gets killed, much like Mabel in the original.
Yes,
Ends up
so we
in the
have a
dryer.
laundry kill. Fantastic.
The deputy comes in and sees the kid.
She calls for the sheriff.
Sheriff.
First, she has a conversation with the kid, stay hidden unless you hear from me, yada, yada, yada.
Yeah.
Then she goes into the laundry room. That's when she finds the maid.
Yeah.
Or the housekeeper, whomever she may be. Rosa. Rosa was her name. And then she calls out for the sheriff who's outside investigating because he sees a light.
He sees the light, and it's
And he realizes it's the helmet from the miner.
Helmet, yeah.
Yeah. So then when he turns around at the deputy calling, he gets a pickaxe to the face.
The grossest kill of them all. Sheriff Burke.
It was disgusting.
Not only did that shit look like it hurt, he screamed like a stuck pig. And rightfully so. It looked very painful.
But I can't remember if she dies there or she stays alive.
And for those who don't remember, the miner brings the pickaxe under the chin of the sheriff, and it comes out of his mouth. Sheriff Burke is screaming in pain, and then the miner rips the pickaxe backwards, ripping his entire jaw off.
His lower jaw.
Amazing, kids.
And imagine that in 3D. That shit's flying at your
it was
face.
shot for 3D, but it looked gross even in 2D.
It was a good kill with or without the 3D.
Yeah.
It was
good.
super gross, and it made me very uncomfortable.
Yeah, it was one of those, wincing moments.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess she didn't get killed.
I don't think she does.
Yeah, maybe not. Tom shows up at the hospital, telling Sarah he has to show her something he found in Axel's cabin. She checks herself out and accompanies Tom. As they drive, Tom suggests that Axel is the killer. Axel calls and urges Sarah to get away from Tom, whom he says is the killer. Axel has discovered that Tom spent the last 7 years in a mental institution. Tom becomes increasingly agitated, and Sarah, believing Axel, grabs the wheel and crashes the car before escaping into the woods. Okay, at this point, with the and you see the tree branch come into the... I wouldn't mind seeing this movie in 3D.
It wasn't bad.
Yeah.
Like, there are very often times... like scenes or actions that happen in 3D movies specifically just for the 3D.
Yeah.
This one, don't get me wrong, they definitely shot things for 3D, but it wasn't out of place.
No.
Like, everything had a purpose, and even when they were shot for 3D, they didn't feel wrong in this movie when it's not 3D. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Fantastic. Also, we should point out that before Sarah goes out into the woods with Tom, her husband Axel has a conversation with her after Megan's dead. I
That's
think it
right.
was in the
Where
hospital. Yeah. Where
Yeah.
she basically is like, I'm not stupid. I know you were fucking her.
Yeah.
Not in those exact words, but pretty close.
Yeah. I watched a few movies in 3D. I watched Piranha 3D. That's
Oh, so
fantastic.
did I. Yeah.
They showed Jerry O'Connell's pee in 3D, if I
They
remember
really
correctly.
did.
And
It
boobies
was
in
a little
3D.
so many boobies.
And I had some fish in 3D. I know this was a fad in the 80s. My aunt and uncle had a laser disc, and in the 80s they were releasing 3D movies with the
Mhm.
blue and red glasses.
Yeah.
I remember one weekend they rented like Amityville 3D, Jaws 3D, some other ones. I just can't remember if they were any good. I'm guessing not. I remember taking them off and it looked blurry.
Yeah.
And you put it on and it seemed to be but I can't really remember if it was cool or it looked 3D or if it was just a gimmick. I don't know.
At that time, it would have been cool regardless because it was
Yeah.
3D. So it was just a new experience.
Yeah.
And eventually we all started realizing like, okay, 3D can be a little excessive for some, because there was a point where people were doing 3D movies just to do a 3D movie, not that the movie would have been enhanced by being 3D.
Yeah.
So I think that's why 3D kind of fell out of favor.
Yeah, because it really did. Because they were making TVs and with
Yeah.
graphics, but I think it was just too expensive for everyone.
Oh, it was so expensive.
Yeah, like I would be interested in getting VR goggles,
Mm.
and if they have 3D movies through that could be really cool. But yeah, because I had some VR with some of my phones, and I went on a roller coaster that made my stomach turn. We had a Jurassic Park one VR
That's
that made my
impressive.
one kid scream and cry, begging to take off the goggles. Good times.
So it's always a good time when you can make your kid scream and cry.
Oh, it's awesome. Yeah. So Sarah hides in Axel's cabin because she got away from Tom.
Mm-hmm.
There she discovers evidence of Axel's affair and a tower of empty Valentine's gift boxes. The miner appears and chases her into the mine.
Mm-hmm.
She is hiding in the mine when Axel arrives and Sarah grabs his gun. Tom shows up and Sarah holds the two men at gunpoint as they each accuse the other of being the killer. I know there were a few clues during the film, but for a GOREFEST horror movie like My Bloody Valentine 3D, they did a good job at playing this angle up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because there really was a lot of like there were hints, there were kind of moments where you're
Yeah.
like, oh, okay, this is odd. But it up until this point, it could have gone either way.
Yep. Yeah, I would have bought either version.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. Tom, however, mentions the way Megan was killed, inadvertently revealing he is the killer.
Of course, because he can do all these murders, manage to make it to be seen all over town.
Yeah.
But he's gonna fuck up by talking about that. But I will say this, like, even though I knew who the killer was, and even though I remembered it, I was still pissed Axel wasn't the killer because he's a fucking douchebag. I was
Yeah,
like,
he's he's a bigger dick than Tom is.
so much bigger. And I was like, God damn it.
Normal Tom's a nice guy.
Normal Tom's a really nice guy. It's just, the alter ego trauma-induced personality
Yeah.
of Harry. That's it.
Harry.
Of Harry. So I mean, like, other than that, I'm like regular Tom when he's medicated, good to go. It's just Axel's just a douchebag all around.
Yeah, because even though I was seriously questioning myself and my intelligence, I was totally on Tom's side here.
Kinda, yeah. Because honestly, here's the thing. Axel didn't have a medical condition.
No.
Axel didn't have piles and piles and piles of trauma. Axel was just a dick who was fucking around.
Yeah.
And then as soon as his wife has a conversation with her ex-boyfriend, he's all like, "Are you fucking him?
Yeah.
Like, why are you seeing him?" Da-da-da-da-da. And I'm like, you are fucking a whole other person, okay, that you knocked up, and you're mad she had a conversation with him in public? Oh, nah. Nah. I might have stabbed him just for that.
As Sarah points the gun at him, Tom hallucinates, revealing the miner is his split personality. A flashback shows him digging up Warden's mining gear and committing the murders. This was a great scene too, and I love Tom's realization, and I loved it when it clicked in Tom's head, and he just became the killer. Like he just turned on, like he became evil. After a struggle, Sarah shoots Tom, and the bullet strikes a fuel tank, which explodes. Sarah and Axel are rescued from the resulting cave-in. Tom also survives, murdering the rescue worker who finds him and escaping in the worker's gear. Another reason I thought there was going to be a sequel, or at least a direct-to-DVD.
It was set up for a sequel.
Yeah.
It was definitely set
and
up.
it made a lot of money to warrant there. A lot of movies, horror movies that made a lot less, had sequels.
Yeah, they just decided, but I was like, where do you go from here?
Yeah,
Do
maybe
you have Tom come back to town, or do you have him go to a different town and then like Harry just
and
kill a
then
bunch of strangers?
probably a good call that they didn't. And that is our movie.
Yeah, although I did want to point out one scene after he realizes that he's Harry, and then Harry takes over in his mind, in Tom's mind. He goes down the hall, breaking all of the light bulbs. A callback to the original movie too. And every time he broke a light, the gas mask or the miner mask would flash on his face.
Oh yeah, and it would
It just like a quick flash and
Yeah.
a quick flash, and I was like, God, that's really good.
That was cool.
I like that.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to point that out so that when other people watch this movie, look for that. Like there are nice little touches and there are nice little callbacks to the original movie, even though this movie is very different.
Yeah.
Because even though in the original movie, Axel was not a douchebag, but he was
No,
the killer.
but he was
In
the
this
killer.
movie, he's a big giant douchebag,
And not
but
the
he's
killer.
not the killer.
Yeah.
Made me a little sad.
All right.
Sarah
So what is
still
your
saves his
score
life.
of My Bloody Valentine 2009?
Okay, so this is I would definitely rent this, and I would purchase at a reduced price. Because even though this is a lot of fun, it is pretty much a cheesy run-of-the-mill 2000s horror movie. So, I mean, something like this is available to you at all times on streaming services and stuff. I happen to really like this movie because it has a lot of my favorite 90s and 2000s actors in it. I have a huge crush on Jensen Ackles to this day. I have been in love with him since he was on Days of Our Lives, and his character came back from that boarding school. He was Sammy's twin brother. Anyways, that's not the point. The point is it's a great fun movie, and you will not regret paying $5 to $10 for it. I would purchase it for $10. I probably wouldn't purchase it for more. I think I already own it on DVD. But I mean, it's a good, fun movie, and it's worth that much money for entertainment. So I think definitely it's worth renting and purchasing at a lower price.
All right. Okay, my score. Okay, this movie is smart. Okay, this movie is on the smarter side of your average slasher film.
Mhm.
Compared to some slasher movies, this one's a fucking genius. It's gory, it's funny, it's got titty, it's got more than titty.
It's got labia.
Labia. It's got a high body count, surprisingly not as high as the original.
Mm.
Super gory. It has incredible hide your eyes but peek, grit your teeth, hold your breath, creative kills that look oh so painful. The acting is way past serviceable from veteran actors, co-stars, smaller roles, main characters. It's an above average slasher film. I'm not saying this is an Oscar contender. I'm talking above average to really good within the horror genre. If you're into slasher and horror, I say buy it. This was fun. I must reiterate, this is not mainstream horror like Hereditary, Scream, Get Out, The Conjuring. This is B horror. The Fog, Jennifer's Body, Slither, Piranha 3D, Lake Placid. And it's above average. I love average fun B horror movies. I love below average B horror movies. I love shitty B horror movies. But yeah, the acting, shooting, pacing, dialogue is slick and well done. But I will watch this movie again. I will try to look. I would love to watch it in 3D. I don't know if that's possible anymore. But yeah, I say let My Bloody Valentine be your Valentine and show some love and watch it.
I'm glad I got to watch this for Valentine's Day because it is One of my favorite things is to watch horror movies where boyfriends end up dying violently. It makes me happy. Also husbands can die violently too. But that's just because Valentine's Day sucks. However, the day after Valentine's Day is my favorite because that's when all the chocolate goes on discount.
It's all on sale.
Yeah, man, you could get some really good shit for a good price. I'm like, fuck yeah. Unfortunately, I think Godiva closed all of their stores, but going to Godiva after Valentine's Day, oh, it was magic. But yeah, no, I totally agree. This is a really good, fun, above average
Yeah,
80s or 90s, 2000s. God, what decade is it?
2009.
2000s
Yeah.
horror movie, and it's a fun one, and it's got a little bit of a twist, and it has some very attractive people in it.
So now compare. Okay, so let's compare 1981 to 2009. Obviously, 2009 is the better acted, the better
Yes.
gore. But that doesn't mean it's the better movie. Which one did you like more? Which one did you like more? Which one did you enjoy more? Which one can you see yourself watching again sooner?
Honestly, I don't want to say I like them both equally, but I think the original actually just kind of edges past this one. Not by much, but it just edges past it because I think like the kills are definitely gorier in the 2009 than the 81.
Yeah.
But I feel like the 81 has almost like a stronger purpose where, it has there's no question of who the killer is, but then it gives you a twist.
Yeah.
This one, you're questioning who the killer is from the very beginning because you're like, no, 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 it can't be Howard. It can't be Howard. Or Harry. God, why do I keep saying Howard? Oh, poor Howard. He died in
Or
the
Howard, yeah,
81
he
one.
died.
Yeah. But anyways, so I think the 81 kind of edges past the 2009 for me, not by much. I enjoyed both of them a lot, probably a lot more than I thought I would. But I just think, and I can't believe I'm about to say this, the dialogue was shittier in the 81, but the storytelling was better. So I'm more into the storytelling. And the 2009, God bless, they tried to put too much into this movie and they made it make sense. But the 81 storytelling was just a little more streamlined. So I think that one just edges it out. However, I'm probably going to end up doing like back-to-back marathons.
Yeah.
Like I'm doing an 81, 2009 constantly. I definitely.
Yeah. Yeah.
What about
And
you?
I would probably watch 2009 sooner, but saying that, I am so curious about the unrated. I would probably I really want to say that. I again, I don't want to say they're both equally as good.
Mm.
It's kind of like it was kind of like Friday 13th and the remake, where definitely Friday 13th the remake, but My Bloody Valentine is a lot more watchable than Friday the 13th, 1980.
Yeah.
It was again, like you, I was surprised at 81. It was a lot more fun. It was creepier and it had a lot of creepy
Mhm.
tones and stuff in it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I am going to look for that unrated. I'm going to try searching. I'm not
Yeah.
paying. I found it on Amazon for like $40.
Oh,
I
fuck
ain't
that
paying
shit.
$40.
No,
But I'll
no.
find it somewhere for cheaper. If I can find it for 10, $15, I'll buy it. And
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, no, I think the two movies are pretty much on par
Yeah.
with entertainment and
And for different reasons.
watchability.
Yeah.
The acting is better in 2009 than 81, 100%. Storytelling is better in 81 than 2009.
Yeah.
The kills a little more gory in 2009.
Yes. But then I really want to see the unrated part.
Yeah, so that's where you're like, you can't really go with the kills. But I mean, the camera work and all of that was better in 2009 than it was in the 81,
Yeah.
100%.
But
Same
the sound and the tone was a little creepier in
in 81 than
1981. Yeah.
2009. Yeah. So I mean, they're very, very close.
Yeah. You can't
And
go
it
wrong with either.
You can't. You can't. If you're looking for, a Valentine slasher, either one of these will do.
Yeah.
100%. And then it's just personal preference.
Yeah,
Like
one's gory
yeah,
action. The other is more tonal slasher mystery.
yeah. And I
But yeah,
tend
they're
to
both
towards
fun.
that. Yeah, they're both a lot of fun.
Yeah, I was surprised,
Yeah, I was
especially at 81.
really surprised at 81, and I remembered liking 2009, and I watched it a few times afterwards, and I hadn't watched it for a very long time, but I was glad I remembered it correctly because I was like, "Oh, thank God. You're still good."
Yeah.
I've had my heart broken too many times doing this podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, "Thank you for still being good," but I was really surprised at 81, and I was really surprised at how good it is for what it is. Because
Yeah.
let's be clear, it was not a high budget Hollywood, project.
No, but they made some good use of what they had.
They did.
Yeah.
They did. And I was like, "You know what? I give props to them for that." And, Cynthia Dale, thank you for being you. Uh, man, I
Yeah.
got such a girl crush on her, always and forever. But yeah, no, it's, they're both really good, and you can't go wrong with either one. So it just
No.
depends what you're in the mood for.
All right. All right. So My Bloody Valentine 1981, My Bloody Valentine 2009. Yes, thanks for watching or listening. And until the next movie, we remember liking.
And now, folks, it's time to say goodnight. We sincerely appreciate your patronage and hope we've succeeded in bringing you an enjoyable evening of entertainment. Please drive home carefully and come back again soon. Good night.